Hi, let's talk about this Taurus New Moon coming up on Friday. What's going on around that? I'm going to share my screen. We're going to look at the astronomy software, stellarium.org. It's free. Highly recommend playing around with it. So here we are, right? The new moon is happening at almost 10 o'clock in Colorado, where I live. So the sun is up and we can't see anything. So we're going to turn on the constellations and the constellation art so we can start to see what's going on in the background. And then let's turn the sun off so we can see, or turn the sun down so we can see. Here is the moon and the sun aligned, right? When we talked last time about eclipses and where the path of those two cross over is when we have eclipses like last new moon, but this time we don't. So you can see the moon has a more northern latitude than the sun, and so it's not an eclipse. The moon is not right in front of it, but look at how they're aligned with the Pleiades, right? So this new moon is happening in the very last degrees of Taurus. And that's aligned right with the Pleiades because that's the place where we switch from Taurus into Gemini here. But check out all this stuff. Let's zoom in a little and I'll slide this down and zoom in a little more. Check out all this stuff in Taurus right now. So Jupiter just moved into Taurus, which is going to be there for, this year. And then Mercury is in Taurus, Uranus is in Taurus, and then the sun and the moon, right? So we have a lot of Taurus energy for this new moon, also brought in by Jupiter just entering Taurus. So it's a lot of that expansion lighting up. I think of Jupiter as being like drops of steroids. It just makes bigger whatever it touches. But also a cool thing to notice. Well, first, I just want to say Taurus, right? So Taurus is considered that self-exploration sign, fixed signs. I look at it as self-growth signs. So there's a lot of energy and opportunity around that in an earth sense. Taurus is the earth sign. So, dropping into the physicality of our body, our physical needs, what feels good in our body, the sensual pleasures of being in the body, right? That's the energy that's really lit up by this Taurus new moon. So you could lean into intentions that help support that physical body, the enjoyment, the pleasure that taking care of the body brings. Just a thought. Also, take a look at this, right? So here is this Ram constellation, right? Here's the Bull constellation, the Fishes constellation. So astronomers and some astrologers will call this Pisces constellation, Aries constellation, Taurus constellation. But look, Jupiter is at 0 degrees Taurus, and the sun and the moon are at almost 29, 28 degrees Taurus. So look at Taurus covers this area where the Ram is, or some people call Aries. Wait, what? Right? Isn't that confusing? So one thing to know is that signs like Taurus are not the same thing as constellations like the Ram, right? And that's too much for us to cover here, but just know signs and constellations are not the same thing. The signs are based more on the experience of what's happening on the earth and the way that the sun is moving, right? The equinoxes and the solstices, those are what the signs are about. And the constellations are a different thing. So kind of cool to know. If you want to dive more deeply into that, I'm going to cover that in my new moon ceremony that's happening Thursday, tomorrow, online. So if you're interested, you can head over to my website, SheridanSemple.com, and check it out. Every month I do an online new moon ceremony. So thanks for hanging out with me today and checking out all of the astronomy of what's going on with this new moon. Wishing you well and lots of Taurus self-growth in the body intentions for this new moon.